Okay, so let's talk about Dunwoody, Georgia, because there's something going on here that I'm seeing in many parts of Metro Atlanta that we really need to talk about. Let's talk about Dunwoody, Georgia. So in getting ready for this video and kind of doing some research about some of the homes and the market here in this city and to really understand the cost of living, this is what I was trying to do with this video. I really wanted to make a video about the cost of living in Dunwoody. And so I was kind of off the top of my head, I was thinking that the home prices in Dunwoody were right around 550 to 650. And so this is what I wanted to highlight. But then when I was kind of starting to do some of the research and really look at the market and the analytics for like the sold prices and what was currently on the market here in Dunwoody, I was surprised to see that so many of the homes were way more expensive than 650. They were closer to even 800,000, which really was shocking compared to some of the other suburbs of Metro Atlanta. And while I'd love to tell you that this is a great city to live in and the cost of living is super low, the fact is that the cost of living here is not super low. There are many other suburbs of Metro Atlanta where you can find way more home for your money, and we're going to talk about those suburbs and which suburbs I think are the best for that. But it is also important, I think, to talk about what I am seeing here in Dunwoody. As a real estate agent, I know that many real estate agents kind of like to gloss over some of the downsides of things, and not every agent does that. I know not every agent kind of omits those bad things, but I know that there are a lot of agents who do that, and I don't want to be that kind of real estate agent to tell you, oh yes, the cost of living here is super low and you're going to be able to find everything you're looking for here in Metro Atlanta, because the truth is that there are some downsides to living here in Metro Atlanta that we need to discuss in this video. Every city around the country has its good sides and its bad sides. And while I love my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, and I think the pros far outweigh the cons, there are some downsides that surprise people every time they come to move here or they come to visit here that I'm seeing happening in Dunwoody that we don't talk about enough that I need to explain to you. Dunwoody is certainly a great city and it's a popular place to live. There are so many people who are moving here, and one of the big reasons for that is because it's so close to the city of Atlanta. It's hard to be in a suburb of Atlanta and still have a quick commute to the city of Atlanta, or to have a quick commute to a lot of economy and a lot of different things to do. Like, it's very easy to be in one of the suburbs of Atlanta, but you're super far out. And so many people who want to be close to all of the things and all of the action, all of the business things to do, they choose cities like Dunwoody. But there is something that comes with living this close to Atlanta that is common in many cities that I think is very disappointing. And so what I found in getting ready for this video about Dunwoody is one of the things that is the most shocking to all of these people who are moving here or who are visiting here, and that is the age of the homes here in Georgia and the overwhelming increase in the prices of homes here in Georgia. Very often we see these pictures on Zillow or wherever we see pictures of homes for sale online, and we're like, wow, these pictures look amazing. But the truth is, not only here in Atlanta, but every part of the country, the real estate agents who take those pictures, or the photographer who they hire to take those pictures, they're going to make those pictures look way better in the pictures than it is in real life. And so what happens is people come and they visit Atlanta and they're like, we see these houses and we want to go see these amazing, well-lit homes. And so we go see those houses, and it turns out that they're not nearly as bright and airy as they look in the pictures, or they have carpet in homes from the 1970s. And this is what I found about Dunwoody when I was getting ready for this video. There's so many homes that are currently for sale in Dunwoody at an average price point of about $750,000 or $800,000 that are from like the 70s or even the 60s, and they still have carpet flooring, or they still have outdated decorations, or they still have roofs that are from the 1980s. And so this, in my opinion, is absolutely unacceptable for a home when you're paying $800,000 to find a home that has a 30-year-old HVAC or a 40-year-old roof or carpet in an $800,000 home. But the fact is that this is the thing that really is the hardest for many people who are considering relocating to Metro Atlanta, for them to really grasp or to accept. And I agree that it should not be accepted, but this happens so often, not only here in Dunwoody, but other parts of Metro Atlanta, to find these outdated homes that are super expensive. And there's a few reasons why I think this is happening, not only in Dunwoody, but many other suburbs of Atlanta. And I think one of those reasons why we have so many homes here that are outdated like that, or they have deferred maintenance, one of those reasons is the fact that we have inflation. And so we have this kind of effect with inflation that we're all so used to, but we're not quite used to it in the housing market. We already know that when we go to the grocery store, our dollar doesn't go as far. And so the analogy that I like to use is that you know that your dollar used to get you this many bananas, but now it gets you a few less bananas. But now this is happening as well in the housing market. When $800,000 used to get you 5,000 square feet, now it only gets you 4,000 square feet, or it used to get you a home from 2010, now it only gets you a home from 1990, or in Dunwoody, 1970. And so this is the thing that really surprises the most amount of people, just how far your dollar goes now. It doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. And I think another reason why we're seeing these super outdated homes. And then don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about some cities in Metro Atlanta where your dollar does go far and you do get some great homes for your money. But in Dunwoody, that does not happen. And so I think another reason why we're seeing some of these sucky homes in areas like Dunwoody is the fact that people are still sitting on the good homes, the homes that have been renovated, the homes that don't have deferred maintenance with new roofs and new HVAC and new flooring. People are not trying to sell those homes. This is kind of the feeling that I get just from going and looking at houses every weekend with clients and trying to help people relocate to the Metro Atlanta area. We're seeing that the good homes are not really on the market as much as the older homes or the sucky homes. And so when we are home shopping, it really takes seeing a lot of homes to find a good one. And so I want to apologize. I'm so sorry for the fact that we have these 1970s homes in Metro Atlanta with carpet flooring. I don't know why people still think that that's acceptable. It is not acceptable in my opinion, and it shouldn't be acceptable to you. I don't know why people don't change their roofs after 40 years old for a roof or an HVAC system. I don't know why people still think that they can get away with selling that crap. And I'm so sorry that we have that so often here in Metro Atlanta. But this doesn't have to necessarily be the case. There are some good homes and there are cities in Metro Atlanta where you can find excellent homes. But I don't want to gloss over the fact that Dunwoody is a bit overpriced. And so if you're thinking about moving to Dunwoody and you're like, hey, my work is right around the corner in Dunwoody, or it's in DeKalb County where Dunwoody is located, and your commute to work would be 10 minutes, then absolutely Dunwoody's a great area. If that means you got to take a bit of a compromise and an older home that maybe is renovated, or you do the renovations to have that 10-minute commute to work, then by all means, that's a great reason to move to Dunwoody. Or if you have family that is in Dunwoody and you need to be close to maybe elderly parents, or you need to be close to maybe you have a child that's going to a university nearby, then for that reason, yeah, Dunwoody is a great area to live in. But if you are considering Dunwoody because of the amazing homes that are located there, Dunwoody is not the place for that. The fact is that the cost of living in Dunwoody is incredibly high, and one of the reasons for that is because of how close it is to the Atlanta area. There are many other suburbs like this. Sandy Springs is also very close to Atlanta with home prices that are very high. Norcross is also very close to Atlanta and also has very high home prices. And while the homes there are very overpriced, there are other reasons for one wanting to move to those areas. Maybe it's a commute thing. Maybe it's a family thing. Maybe you need to be close to the hospitals in Sandy Springs, or maybe you need to be, I don't know why else you would move to those areas. I'm sure there are maybe some personal reasons why you would move there. But when it comes to finding good homes for sale where your dollar is going to go farther, let's talk about the better suburbs of Metro Atlanta where you can find that. So in my opinion, here are 5 suburbs of Metro Atlanta that are far better. They have lower cost of living and your dollar goes much farther, and you can find great houses in these suburbs. The first one on my list is Powder Springs. Powder Springs is in Cobb County. The average home price there is like $350,000, $400,000. You can find a 4,000 square foot home there with 5 bedrooms, no problem, for like $500,000. Far better home prices there in Powder Springs, and they're not like all super outdated. There are certainly some, but you can find newer homes that have been renovated in Powder Springs. Another really good option is Cumming, Georgia. Cumming is just north of Alpharetta. And so very often people who are like, oh wow, the home prices in Alpharetta are really high, they choose Cumming because it's just north of the city, but your dollar goes much farther. And because Cumming is kind of less of a developed area, you also have a lot of new construction in Cumming, Georgia. So you have new construction, homes that don't break the bank. And so this is a great area for finding better houses. Another suburb that I really like for finding excellent homes is Canton, Georgia. Canton is also kind of a bit farther north. You can see the trend here. We're kind of getting away from the expensive Atlanta. We're getting away more into the suburbs of the Metro Atlanta area. And Canton is farther north in the suburbs. And so you can find a lot more home for your money in those cities. This is a very family-friendly area with a great downtown. You can find 5,000 square foot homes for $600,000 or $700,000. You can find 3-bed, 2-bath homes for $400,000. And so this is a great place to live if you're looking for more home or newer, more modern homes. Number 4 on the list is Dallas, Georgia. Dallas is right next to Powder Springs, and it's a very similar feel. Again, very family friendly. All of these suburbs that I'm talking about here are very family friendly, safe cities that are a bit farther out, and maybe it's a commute of about 30 minutes to work or 45 minutes to work instead of 10 minutes, but you can find newer homes, more modern, more square footage, and Dallas is a great city for that. You can find 4,000 square foot homes there for $400,000 or $500,000. This is one of the reasons why so many people are moving to Dallas, is because of its affordability. And then another suburb that we don't really talk a whole lot about that I think is a great suburb for finding a lot of home for your money is Cartersville, Georgia. Cartersville is one of these cities that is just exploding with growth in the last few years. There's a lot of new construction there as well. You can find excellent homes there, newer homes, remodeled homes in Cartersville, and you don't have to break the bank. Ultimately, I just want to help the people who are considering moving here and you're thinking like, man, the homes here in Metro Atlanta suck. I totally understand. There are a lot of parts of Metro Atlanta where the homes are overpriced, but there are suburbs of Metro Atlanta that are not overpriced, and I want to help people find those suburbs or find the right situation for whatever reason it is you're moving to Metro Atlanta. I want to help make sure that we find the right area for you. And so those suburbs that I just talked about, I think, are great alternatives for finding excellent homes. Of course, whether or not you move to this area ultimately is going to depend on the general cost of living of Metro Atlanta. So let's talk about the utilities and what it costs for property taxes. All of these things I've outlined in a whole nother video. You can see that entire video where I talked about the monthly expenses of living in Atlanta. You can check it out right here. I'll see you in the next one.